There are over 30 million entrepreneurs in the US, but only a few have actually been recognized as successful businessmen. These disruptors and innovators come from different backgrounds, but they all share similar qualities that have helped them become successful. So after reading dozens of books and studying the most successful businessmen, I want to cover 14 qualities that will help you explode your creative genius. And before we begin, remember to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this one. So number one is that they are extremely curious. Now, this can be an advantage or a disadvantage depending on how you look at it. It could be a disadvantage because they get caught up in the cycle of trying to understand everything conceptually. And that is the number one enemy if you want to take action. But they are intrigued by how everything works. This is also the quality that helps them be creative and come up with ideas and solutions on the spot when the pressure is high and when the decision has to be made immediately. Now the second one is they take imperfect action, and their motto is ready, fire, aim, which means they will take imperfect action over a structured plan any single day. And the easiest way to test an idea is to just make it happen. Take imperfect action and just see what happens. See if it has potential, and if it does, then you'll come up with a plan and a more structured way to make it happen. If not, then you'll move on, and at least you'll know that it doesn't work because you tried it. But if you sit there and try to conceptualize everything that's going to happen before it happens and try to anticipate all the possible failures and obstacles and all the things that you might never need to worry about, you can just spend months and years doing that and never take action. And you'll never know if your idea actually works. So that is an important one. The third one is self-motivation experts. They are amazing self-motivation experts. What this means is that for every businessman out there, it is impossible to try to start a business and not fail. Like, the success rate is very low when you start out because you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of like Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong in business, and you better be prepared for that. And if you need motivational videos to keep your energy high and your confidence high, and you know, you have to be self-motivated. You can't rely on any other external sources of motivation. The fourth one is they are amazing salesmen. And when I say they're amazing salesmen, it doesn't only mean they're good at selling their product or their service. What it actually means is that they are good salesmen in terms of recruiting people, selling the dream, selling the vision, guiding a team, playing the role of the leader, and developing other people. But you can't do any of that if you don't know how to influence other people. So if you can be persuasive, and if you can have other people to buy into your vision and to buy into your dream, and what the possible future could look like if the business is successful, then you're not going to be able to build a solid business. So what the most successful businessmen do is they sell the vision first to themselves, and once they are bought into their vision, then they sell it to other people. But it goes back to the same quality. If you can't even sell your vision to yourself and you don't really believe that it's possible, then how are you going to convince other people that what you're trying to do is actually worth it? So this is why successful businessmen are amazing salespeople. Now, the fifth one is they are highly adaptable. And in the world of entrepreneurship, you need to understand that the plan that you came up for next week, next month, or even next year is going to change before you even realize it. And you better be able to have another plan, plan B, C, D, or E, in case plan A doesn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. Because if you don't have another plan and you can adjust, you're going out of business. As a matter of fact, having the ability to pivot and adjust is often the difference between surviving and thriving in business or going bankrupt. So the most successful entrepreneurs know this, and they understand that the most important thing is to have another plan ready to go in case plan A doesn't work out. So number 6 is they have a high pain tolerance. And this is because for you entrepreneurs watching this, you know how hard, how frustrating, and how annoying building a business can be. Like point number 5 said, everything that has the potential to go wrong in business will go wrong. So you better be prepared to deal with all kinds of obstacles, setbacks, and failures. And it's often why people say that if you have thin skin, you're not going to make it in business. There's some truth to that. If you can't deal with all the setbacks and struggles that comes with entrepreneurship, then I would recommend to find another career, because it doesn't get any easier. In fact, the more successful a company becomes, the more struggles you're gonna get. So you better be prepared. And it doesn't mean that you can develop a thick skin as time goes on. It just means that you need to have the resilience and the mental strength to deal with the setbacks early on. But number 7 is they are extremely decisive. And so when plans change, and they will, the most successful businessmen are ready to make a decision. And they don't hesitate, they don't wait. They take a decision looking at all the data available and coming up with the best solution possible in that scenario. But they don't wait to have all the extra pieces of information that may never come. And they just sit there and wait until the time is right. Like people say, the time may never be right to make a decision. So what they do is they take action, they are extremely decisive, and they pivot if they have to. Another important point is that speed is everything when building a business. So the more time you spend sitting and trying to come up with the best decision, that time is time you're never gonna get back. Time that you could be spending doing something more productive and trying a different solution in the meantime. Like as you think about an issue for a week and try to come up with the best solution and try to figure out where to go from there. You could be trying 3 different solutions and getting rid of 2 of them because they wouldn't work. But that one solution that you tried that was still better than the plan that you had before, that plan would have never come to fruition if you hadn't taken action in the first place. So instead of waiting and just sitting around, just take action, be decisive, and get it done. And if you're enjoying the video, make sure that you hit the like button, because it helps the video reach more people. But number 8 is they are good communicators. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, what it means is that they set clear expectations and responsibilities for all their employees, and even for themselves. Now, being a good communicator doesn't necessarily mean that you're talking all the time, or that you're extroverted and you love talking to everyone that you see on the street. That's not what it means. What it actually means is that you can take a complex subject, process it in your head so well that you explain it in simple terms, in terms that everyone can understand it. Just like they teach in sales that your product or service should be the gap or the bridge between someone's desired situation and someone's current situation, what you're doing as a good communicator is you take your desired situation and your current situation, and your communication or your ability to lead other people is the bridge between those 2 things. It also means they can explain their product or service better than anybody else, and that includes explaining what kind of an impact it would have over you if you buy it, and how your life is going to change if you decide to exchange money for the product or service. Which goes back to point number 4, which is they are amazing salesmen. And they know how to convince people to exchange money for their product or service. Now, number 9 is they know how to get the most from people. As a leader, as a CEO, as a business owner, you need to know how to lead people and know how to push their buttons to make them better. So I'll give you an example. Phil Jackson, the coach of the Bulls and the Lakers, he won 11 rings combined with the Bulls and the Lakers as a coach. He knew how to deal with different players depending on their personality, meaning that he knew how to push the emotional buttons of each player to make him better and to make him grow as a person. So Dennis Rodman, for example, if you follow the Bulls in the 1990s, you know that Dennis Rodman was not a very disciplined player. And every other coach before Phil Jackson knew that dealing with Rodman was not easy. In fact, every other coach before Phil Jackson treated Dennis Rodman as a child rather than an adult. So when Phil Jackson started coaching Dennis Rodman, he treated him as a grown man, as an adult, which shocked Dennis Rodman, because he later said that it was so gratifying to have Phil Jackson treat him like an adult rather than a little child. But Phil Jackson knew that all Dennis Rodman wanted was to have respect from the coach and from the staff. So this was a very effective way to coach him. Another good example is when Phil Jackson went to the Lakers and had to deal with Shaq and Kobe. He said that Shaq was all about fun. He didn't really do anything unless it was fun to him. And you can see that in Shaq. I mean, you can watch him on YouTube, or you can see that Shaq likes to have fun. And he knew that dichotomy between Shaq and Kobe, because Shaq was all about fun. He didn't do anything if it wasn't fun, but Kobe was all about hard work and discipline, and he was a very serious person. And he knew that Kobe was obsessed with beating Michael Jordan. So Phil Jackson casually mentioned how Jordan used to do things in trainings or in games and how good he used to play. And so Kobe would listen to that and become so angry that it would push him to be better and to train harder. And that's how Phil Jackson knew how to push Kobe's and Shaq's buttons. Because once you know what makes a person tick, then you can lead them so much better and so much more efficiently. Number 10 is they have a good work ethic. And let me just say it straight up. If your work ethic is not that great, you're gonna have a tough time competing with other people who work really, really hard. And your business is going to suffer as a result. You know, work ethic is like the entrance ticket to building a business. Now, it does not guarantee success, don't get me wrong. You can be working really hard and still fail. But if you don't have a good work ethic, pretty much everything else is just useless. Work ethic has to be one of your top priorities when starting a business. And the reason for this is that big companies create big problems. And even if you have a smaller company, it doesn't have to be a Fortune 500 company, but if you run a small business, you know the amount of work that it took to get it off the ground. I mean, it's extremely hard to get it off the ground. For different reasons. I mean, you don't know what you're doing and you don't have the experience and you don't know if your idea is actually gonna work, but regardless of the reason, it's extremely hard work. So you need to have a good work ethic to be a successful businessman. Now, number 11 is they are determined to crush any obstacle. Good entrepreneurs will destroy any wall that's in front of them. It doesn't matter how high the wall is, it doesn't matter how thick the wall is, it doesn't matter how long the wall has been there. The wall will be destroyed and the entrepreneur will walk over it or through it or past it. But good entrepreneurs know that obstacles are inevitable and they are just part of the journey. And it's very important to have this kind of I'll do it regardless of the situation mentality, because when you encounter a big enough wall, you're gonna collapse and give up if you don't have that kind of mental strength or mental toughness. So you need to be 100% certain that no matter what wall is in front of you, you're gonna get through it. Number 12 is they are patient in the long run, urgent in the short term. Now, what does that mean exactly? It means that building a business takes time, and no amount of work will replace the time it takes for a business to grow and mature. Now, this does not mean that you don't have to work hard every day. In fact, if you work twice as long and twice as hard as everyone else, you're gonna get twice the results that they're getting. It also means that it will take you 1 year to build a business that other people could build in 2 years, right? But it does not replace the time that it takes to grow and mature. So what great entrepreneurs do is they are focused on the day-to-day operations. They work as hard as they can every single day, but they are not concerned about the long run. Number 13 is they are great storytellers. And this is related to a few points on the list that we already discussed. But great entrepreneurs are very good at painting pictures of an optimistic future. They can paint a picture of a better future for their team, for their investors, for the board, for the people that buy their product or service, for the world in general. They are very good at storytelling. And they know that stories are essential to inspire and change people for the better. So if you want people to give their best and to be inspired, then storytelling is a great tool for you. And the last one, number 14, is they are extremely passionate and or extremely competitive. Some entrepreneurs are so passionate about their product and the future that they're trying to create that it's like they have this childlike admiration and wonder for the world in general. And this passion could come as a result from a problem that they used to have that now they don't have anymore because of their product or service. Regardless of how that passion was formed, great entrepreneurs have that emotional attachment to their product because they know they can make a difference and they know they can change other people's lives for the better. They can also be extremely competitive, as in they hate losing more than they love winning. And so that combination of passion and competitiveness is what great entrepreneurs use to create great products and build amazing businesses. But I'm curious to know what you think is the most important quality of a successful entrepreneur. So put in the comments what you think that quality is. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next one.